trillion, million, billion, trillions of orbiting snowballs, orbiting snowballs, orbiting... A flat fact. A flat fact.
The realm. Do you know what the realm is? A story we agree to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
At the third stroke, it will be 9, 50, and 10 seconds. At the third stroke, it will be 10, 27, and 10 seconds.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a FlatFact channel. Gods and Monsters, The Time Apocalypse, Chapter 2. This video will also not be brought to you by a magnet. The delay in the release of Chapter 2 was after feedback from Chapter 1. As I mentioned in Chapter 1, there are no cartographic maps in existence that show the correct timeline from the oldest maps in the 1500s to the latest maps. What do I mean by cartographic maps? Maps that are marked with the equator and the tropic latitude. From a comment, this app says the sky is in the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, but this program says the sky is in the Tropic of Gemini and Sagittarius. I program with astronomical code for decades, and computer-generated applications are exactly that. Computer-generated. Programs are written by a person. We need to compare the sky with that computer-generated information. The old maps are about the sun and what constellation the sun is in 4 times a year. I'm going to show you historical resets, but in order to do this, we need to understand how the olden ones are measured time. And indeed they measured. The olden people did not measure time, the path of the sun, moon and stars, by using some imaginary vantage point outside. They measured by what they witnessed. So first we need to know where we are in time. Where is the sun's location now, from what we can witness? Let me make this clear. The solstice and the tropic latitudes are the same points. It's a bit like the circle and the word round, 2 ways to describe the same geometric shape. The solstice and the tropic latitudes are at the same time and the same place. So let's ask Google a question. What constellation was the sun in December 21, 2020? December 21 is on or around the solstice. The answer, of course, is Sagittarius. Try it yourself. Now let's ask the same question about the June solstice. What constellation was the sun in June 21, 2020? Taurus, ladies and gentlemen. For some 2,000 years at the June solstice, the sun has been in the constellation Gemini, and it just recently moved into Taurus, the first constellation to begin the lineup for the age of Aquarius. And hardly anyone noticed. We will ignore for this example that Taurus is now at the tropic and solstice latitude at the June solstice. I made some new graphics, hopefully to make this a bit clearer. The sky in the age of Pisces. We have Sagittarius and Gemini at the solstice positions, and Pisces and Virgo at the equinox positions. The sun does not travel up to the North Pole, nor does the sun travel down to Antarctica. This is an astronomical flat fact. The solstice happens twice a year. It can be measured. Only those living between the tropic and solstice latitudes will ever see the sun directly overhead. Look at this map. Only those who live between these tropicus zone latitudes will ever see the sun directly overhead at a 90-degree angle at solar noon. Look at the map. Where do you live? You can measure the sun's angle at any time of the year. Let's see on the largest early map ever found, the Urbano Monte, dated 1587. This round map consists of 60 sheets, making a total size of some 9 square feet. The Urbano Monte shows the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer, and as I've shown over and over, these tropicus latitudes were in the age of Aries. The Tropic of Capricorn is shown as goat, and the Tropic of Cancer is shown as a lobster/crayfish. You can check out the map yourself. I've added in the light and dark areas. The light areas are the areas between the tropic zones, and the dark areas are those locations that will not see the sun directly overhead at solar noon. The Gleason map. If you know this map, you'll notice that this is not a broken copy. The arms are intact. Mr. Gleason did not check his map with the sky, because Mr. Gleason also used the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer. The light areas are between the Tropicus Solstice latitudes, and the dark areas are again the locations that will not see the sun 90 degree overhead at solar noon. Moving forward, the 360 degree circle divided up into equal arcs of 30 degrees. You could see how the degreed circle could be misinterpreted as a 360-day year with 12 months of 30 days. Couldn't you? 23.5 degrees. This is the degree we are taught is the theoretical tilt of the Earth, and also this is the same degree mark we can see on the Tropicus of Capricorn and the Tropicus of Cancer on many of the cartographic maps. As we saw in Chapter 1, the Sun has not been aligned with the Tropicus of Capricorn and the Tropicus of Cancer for thousands and thousands of years. So what about that latitude of 23.5 degrees? The latitude where the winter and summer solstices occur. The Tropicus Drift. I could also name this the Solstice Drift. As with the maps in Chapter 1, I'll show the encyclopedic narrative. I will use Wikipedia because it repeats the narrative of the other encyclopedias, and it's Creative Commons. The Tropic of Cancer, which is also referred to as the Northern Tropic, is the most northerly circle of latitude on Earth at which the sun can be directly overhead. This occurs on the June solstice, when the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun to its maximum extent. Using a continuously updated formula, the circle is currently 23 degrees 26 hours, or 23.43662 degrees north of the equator. Did you notice, using a continuously updated formula, the Tropic of Cancer's position is not fixed, but constantly changes because of a slight wobble in the Earth's longitudinal alignment relative to the ecliptic, the plane in which the Earth orbits around the Sun. Notice still repeating the latitude of the Tropic of Cancer? And the position is not fixed? Earth's axial tilt varies over a 41,000-year period from 22.1 to 24.5 degrees, and as of 2000 is about 23.4 degrees, which will continue to remain valid for about a millennium, 1,000 years. This wobble means that the Tropic of Cancer is currently drifting southward at a rate of almost half an arc second, or 0.468 of latitude, or 15 meters per year. The circle's position was at exactly 23 degrees 27 hours north in 1917, and will be at 23 degrees 26 hours north in 2045. But wait, don't the cartographic maps of the world show us the tropic zones laying at the 23.5 degrees latitude north and south? Now let's analyse this. This is the Tropicus Drift, or the Solstice Drift, and over the millennia, the Tropicus latitude north zones have been shrinking at a rate of approximately 15 meters a year. This would be, of course, if the sun's path shrunk at a constant rate yearly over the millennia. In Mexico, the Tropic of Cancer was measured for an approximate 15-meter decrease each year. This is a picture. How unfortunate they stopped measuring. But wait, there's more. The path of the sun at the Tropicus latitude north and south lie at the same degrees. They are in harmony with each other. So while the North Tropicus turning point of the sun is decreasing southward at a rate of approximately 15 meters a year, the Southern Tropic Zone is also decreasing northward at a rate of approximately 15 meters a year. In total, the tropical drift is approximately 30 meters a year. It doesn't take much critical analysis to understand that an approximate 30-meter decrease in the sun's path each year could be affecting the weather. Whether the sun will continue at an approximate 30-meter decrease a year towards the equator is unknown, and when it will finish the cycle and begin to increase is unknown. The Tropicus drift needs to be measured as accurate as we possibly can every year, year after year, for future generations. So do you really think we should be taxed and blamed for weather patterns changing from the cycle of the sun? The Tropicus latitude zones are not a constant. These zones are shrinking at an approximate rate of 30 meters a year. So while this is happening, there is still the same amount of days in a year. Equinoxes are still at the 0-degree latitude, and the sun still turns and goes back the other way. It is the Tropicus solstice latitudes that are not a constant. The path of the sun is decreasing north and south every year. Remember I said at the beginning of the video the Tropicus solstice zones were at the same time and place each year? The North and South Tropicus solstices that occur in 2021 will be at the same latitudes, but this latitude measurement will be different to last year, and it will be different next year. I understand very well that this information takes a little bit to get your head around, and of course you should be checking. I also titled these chapters as Gods and Monsters, and I will be getting to that. The March equinox 2021 is approaching. The sun will be at the 0-degree latitude, so look for the sun around solar noon. Where is the sun to your view? I'm sure you were never told about this 30-meter decrease in the tropic zones yearly. The approximate 30-meter decrease in the sun's path every year. Up until this point, how many people do you think actually know? So, now we have maps being thousands of years out of time, and the Tropicus solstice drift, the path of the sun witnessed on Earth. As I wind up Chapter 2, I'd like to give a big shout out to Mr. John Levy for featuring Chapter 1 of Gods and Monsters, plus all the new subscribers that have come on over. Welcome to you all. Thanks for watching.